Probably over half of you in this classroom suffer from allergies, whether you experience runny nose, watery eyes, sneezing, plugged ears, or head congestion. Though many people view allergies as a simple annoyance, the increase of allergic illness is a growing problem in today's society. And, believe it or not, the severity and escalation of allergic symptoms is exacerbated by the effects of global warming. Global warming is a fairly recent phenomenon. Scientists have determined that due to anthropogenic or human-produced causes, the level of carbon dioxide in our atmosphere has reached levels never previously experienced, and this level continues to rise at an unprecedented rate. Carbon dioxide is considered to be a greenhouse gas. These types of gases are responsible for the warming of the atmosphere because of their ability to trap outgoing long-wave radiation. The effects of global warming are numerous and widespread. If this process continues unhindered, many aspects of our daily lives will continue to be affected in more extreme ways, including weather patterns, crop growth, ocean levels, and even personal health. Today we are already seeing the effects of global warming on our health, and these effects are most notable when considering allergies and respiratory ailments.
Increased CO2 levels and consequent warming act as a fertilizer for plant growth, favoring the proliferation of weedy plant species that are known producers of allergenic pollen. These factors can cause some plants to grow faster, bloom earlier, and produce more pollen. Overall, the warming of the atmosphere is expected to alter the length of allergy seasons to begin earlier and last longer.
The primary cause of human allergies is considered to be airborne ragweed pollen. Due to the lengthening of seasons and warmer climate, ragweed plants are expected to grow in size and produce pollen for a longer duration of time. Already, the production of ragweed pollen has doubled in the last century. Additionally, the rise in carbon dioxide levels could be expected to affect the potency of the ragweed pollen that already exists. If CO2 concentrations rise from current levels at 391 parts per million to 600 parts per million, which could happen as soon as mid-century, ragweed pollen could become up to 70% more allergenic. Exposures to higher concentrations of aeroallergens or allergen proteins such as these may lead to more severe allergic responses in those who suffer from allergic illnesses. What's more, exposure to more potent concentrations of pollen and mold may make current non-sufferers more likely to develop allergic symptoms. We decided to ask students here at DU how they are being affected by the changes in climate in relation to their allergies. One such student was Danny McLean, a freshman here at the University of Denver.
So what kind of allergy symptoms do you experience?
Well, actually I'm allergic to some kinds of metal and unprocessed cotton, and I get really bad rashes when I'm exposed to those. But oftentimes I have seasonal allergies, so when fall turns to winter or when it turns to summer, I get really stuffy and congested, and my eyes water all the time. They were so bad this year that my skin started cracking around my eyes, and it was really uncomfortable, and I couldn't wear any makeup, so I felt horrible about myself.
Yeah, definitely. So has it changed in recent years? Has it gotten more severe, or seemed to last for a longer time?
It's been pretty constant, but recently my allergies towards metals have subdued, and honestly, I don't think they exist anymore. But definitely my allergic symptoms during the winter have caught up a lot, and they affect me more than they used to. So.
And have you seen a change since you've come here to DU?
The first 3 weeks I was at DU, my eyes watered constantly, and I don't know if it was because there was a different tree or something in the area, or just the pollutants of the city, but I didn't know what was going on, and I was like, maybe I should see a doctor or something, but they went away eventually, so I'm hoping they don't come back.
Hopefully you've sort of acclimated to the environment.
I hope so.
Another contributor to the release of ragweed pollen is that spring now arrives 10 to 14 days earlier than it did 20 years ago as a result of global warming. If spring continues to arrive earlier and earlier each year, eventually the production of ragweed pollen will increase. A spring that begins 30 days earlier would mean a 54.8% increase in ragweed pollen. Additionally, due to the urban heat island effect, climate change effects on ragweed are amplified in urban areas and can be 7 times higher in cities such as Denver. Another DU student, Grayson Elkins, talked to us about the differences he has experienced in allergy symptoms since coming to Denver from Texas.
What type of allergy symptoms do you experience?
I get a runny nose and headaches and grogginess, depending on what allergen is affecting me at that time.
And have you noticed a change in your allergies? Have they become more severe, lasted for a longer period of time over recent years?
Yeah, partly because I'm also allergic to gluten as well as seasonal allergies. And once I got off of gluten, my seasonal allergies pretty much went like super minimum, and I hardly experience them anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's been nice.
Have they gotten any worse since you've come here from Texas?
No, it's actually gotten way better. Texas is like very cedar heavy, and so it'd be twice a year when everyone in the world got hay fever.
Next, we talked to Dalton Bobeck, a freshman originally from Denver.
So Dalton, what kind of allergy symptoms do you suffer from?
Well, after the winter and the springtime, I usually get runny eyes and a runny nose, but that's about all that happens.
No sneezing, headaches, or anything like that?
Not really, just runny eyes, runny nose.
And in recent years, have you noticed a change? Has it gotten more severe or lasted for a longer time?
Not in recent years. It's been about the same over the course of my life.
When did you start getting allergies?
I don't know, I can't remember.
Okay. And have you seen any change since coming to DU as opposed to where you're from before?
Well, I am from Aurora, so it's pretty close, so not really. It's pretty much the same.
Unfortunately, the effects of climate change on allergies affect not only our health, but also our wallets. Aeroallergens such as dust, ragweed pollen, and mold impact 1 out of every 2 Americans, and treatment for allergies in the U.S. costs over $21 billion annually.
To find out how Americans can combat the effects of allergies, we contacted the Colorado Allergy and Asthma Center located here in Denver. Physicians there told us that there are several remedies for bothersome seasonal allergies. Medicines such as daily antihistamines and nasal steroid spray can be very helpful in alleviating the effects of mild allergies. However, if this medication seems to work ineffectively, patients can be given immunotherapy treatment. In this process, an antigen is developed according to the individual's specific allergies and administered first as a diluted dose and then as a maintenance dose of the antigen for 3 to 5 years. After this amount of time, a patient should become desensitized to their allergies, and this treatment can be effective in suppressing allergies to trees, grasses, molds, weeds, and many other common allergens. According to a study published in the scientific journal Annals of Allergy, Asthma, and Immunology, immunotherapy could possibly reduce a patient's healthcare costs by 1/3 and prescription costs by 16%. However, immunotherapy treatments can be very expensive and are used only if all other treatment options fail to alleviate the symptoms. Thus, as global warming continues to affect our atmosphere and allergies continue to increase in severity, immunotherapy may become too expensive for many patients, or this treatment simply may not be extreme enough to account for the rising severity of allergic symptoms. So, in order to keep ourselves healthy and our wallets full, it is necessary that we take the certainty of global warming seriously and begin to take the needed steps to prevent its continuation and exacerbation. Controlling carbon dioxide emissions by looking into alternative energy sources and reducing our reliance on fossil fuels is vitally important to fighting the negative effects of climate change. Global warming is beginning to affect our lives in an increasing number of areas, from the environments we live in, to the foods we eat, to the allergies we suffer from. It is time that we take these changes seriously.